think Doubt will end up maintaining control with these fishing ships. He also is going to have some fishing ships here, and he's docking down here in the south. Here come 2 archers, though. It's going to be messy for Doubt as he's just trying to save food for Castle Age. Yeah, not taking any gold. What we haven't seen yet is the full work. I'm going to have other videos with the full work, seeing a little bit more. But that's really fun to use with the farms. In fact, I think by the time I upload this, you would have already seen a game where I played as the Poles and I discussed everything that I was thinking in the moment and, you know, what went right.
I'm Simone Bowles, and I've been using SK2's Patera Essence for 2 years now. I actually did not have a skincare routine before SK2, so I knew it was going to be a really amazing experience. I think the texture is very unique because it's kind of silky. My skin just soaks it all up. After I use Patera Essence, I feel refreshed and rehydrated, and I just feel like on top of the world. I could do anything. I love this product so much. I feel like my skin is living its best life.
Right, what went wrong? At least you get to see the full work utilized. So Sebastian, or Yellow, is now going to wall up, which is a smart move if you're expecting some type of a counter from Doubt. Crazy walls, but Doubt doesn't have any military right now. And Doubt's economy looks really, really bad, but he's got a lot of stone. He's got gold income. He doesn't need to even take this gold right now. You're going to see the enemy use the market big time, try and go castle, and that's a smart move here. I think Doubt should probably do the same. Doubt's villager went down back here. And Doubt is really not in... I mean, based on the fishing ships he has right now, things are going to look better for him long term, especially because Yellow has 1 on food right now. That's got to be sorted out, actually. I guess Yellow's unable to take the berries as well. Yeah, so just not farming right now for some reason, but I think we're going to see something YOLO. You see 8 on gold. You see a lot on wood. Honestly, there will probably be less on wood soon. I think we'll see some more villagers go to gold. If we're not seeing a Lithuanian player try and get food eco for knights, you can always go for that clowny approach, that arena approach. And that arena approach would be a lot of monks. Lithuanian monasteries do work faster, so it's an option. And now Doubt's just like, okay, I'm going to tower this gold because I might need it. And this is funny. So I guarantee you Doubt wants a market right now. Yeah, there it is. So Doubt made this full work here. I guess he could use it for the deer or whatever. But the time he made it and the placement of it tells me that he forgot that you need a mill, or in this case, a full work. These things look really freaking cool, don't they? You need this to be able to make a market. It's such a weird AoE thing. I don't know why that is, but you do. I remember, I have that issue on this map, and I have that issue on Nomad a lot, because normally you don't make mills in this early stages. So yeah, long story short, he kind of panicked there a little bit, had to add the full work, which he might farm around. You get 10% of the farm's food after placing the farm next to it, so that's really nice. But no real sign he's going to farm because he's got fish in the south too. This villager might be tracked down, and here come the forward villagers. Now, there's a siege workshop, there's a monastery. Actually, it looks like it was going to be double siege workshop. I think that must have been a hotkey misclick. I don't think double siege workshop really makes a whole lot of sense, but double monastery tends to. Now, here's what's cool. Doubt has brought in, he just went to gold, right? Doubt has brought in so much gold. He's brought in 800 gold. Actually, I was expecting that number to be a little higher, but it does make sense based on how much stone has been brought in. 800 gold when you have not had any gold mining upgrades, when you've just recently gone to gold, is pretty sick. Now he's adding a stable here. And he actually sees the siege workshop. So yeah, Yellow's in I have no eco, I need to kill fast mode, which is actually a great mode to be in if you think you're up against a better player too. Just in general, you try and play the meta. I mean, to be honest, this guy, I think he should probably continue to try and play the meta because he's got a lot of talent. But for me, I'm not getting any younger. I know I'm pretty slow. I'm kind of like the Doubt of the top 100 that's not in the top 20. Because every time, even if I win or lose, I'm always slower than everyone I play. But anyways, what I'm getting at here is sometimes you have to play to the extremes to beat a player who's better than you. And that's exactly what this strategy is. Now, Dal, he had used the towers earlier for defense against archers and men-at-arms. And now, the towers are not going to work anymore, but he is going to place a castle. So he has a scout here. The monk is going to be his target because he wants to be able to take out the siege with some knights. And another monk goes down, and this is so good for Dal right now. So good for Dal. The castle is going to keep him protected. The food eco, of course, is working on the pawns. Nice job from Dal to focus down those monks. The scout addition was perfect, and the knight timing was perfect. Of course, with a little bit better RNG, Yellow's in a different situation. But this castle drop pretty much neutralizes... Nice job there from Yellow, actually. But it pretty much neutralizes this area. And neutralizes the push. There's not much more Yellow can do, except maybe try and reposition. And this is a player, as we're going to see Dal take out another Mangonel, though he does lose that knight to the conversion. I mean, Yellow's economy is just all in on golden wood with just a little bit of food. So, and that little bit of food is in the north, by the way. Population's pretty close, but Dal ahead. And Dal is now getting the unique tech. So we talked about it at the start. This makes knights cost 60% less gold. So the thing about knights is that they're a pretty strong unit, and they also cost a lot. So donating them to monks is a real problem. But now... do you really have to worry? I mean, you do have to worry about them having a lot of knights and then sending it into your eco. But, I mean, my point is, you could justify playing this out and just being aggressive against monk plays with this tech. You certainly don't need to have as many on gold to be able to make the knights, which is really good because let's say one player gets that tech and the other one doesn't, and they both have 50 vils. Well, the person who gets that tech has a lot more food eco, or wood eco then, because they don't need to prioritize the gold eco quite to the same extent. This is kind of funny. Knights are being created for Dal. This Mangonel rolls right underneath the TC, and the knights pop out for Dal, and that was a big mistake for Yellow. You never want to just swoop on by a stable like that. That's what Dal was hoping for. He's able to take out the monks. Does lose a few knights, but the thing about monks is they will snowball on you, and he's just going to run away now. I think the Mangonel is going to go down. Now, what's a little bit of a shame here is that in this particular game, we're not getting to see Dal add any farms. We're not getting to see that. There are other games and instances where we'll see that from polls. But the beauty is, you don't necessarily have to. I mean, Dal kind of deked his opponent earlier, faked him out a little bit, and that villager on the left side was able to make fire galleys because of the stone mining bonus. And now we're seeing Dal utilize the fish, as you should on this map, but utilizing the unique tech when his eco isn't like crazy, and he's making plenty of knights. I mean, look at the queue for him. 8 knights queued, more stables coming out. I think it's also recognition from him. He knows what this type of a play means for Yellow. He knows, based on the score as well, that Yellow probably does not have the best economy. Now, here's an important thing to point out. Yellow... You might be thinking right now, well, Yellow has 14 on food. Why doesn't he just buy some stone, add some town centers, and try and boom? As he actually calls the GG. So the problem is, even though the population is really close, I think this is still an early GG, but even though the population's really close, you trying to boom at this point, invest resources in the back home when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really expensive, really important forward buildings. You don't have anything at home, right? So you're kind of in this mode where it's invest everything forward or die. And he decides to just call the GG before Dal pops out. I mean, a little unsatisfying at the end of the video, so feels bad, man. But you've got like 2 knights here, 2 knights here, 2 knights here. Dal has knights back here. Dal has more stables coming up, and Dal was just probably going to clear this over the next 60 seconds. If this game was scripted, what I would have done is I would have made sure that Dal got the clear up and then the GG was called, but that is not how it works. I have no control over that. Dal with more food eco in this game, it didn't really stem back to the farms. Oops, excuse me. Did not really stem back to the farms at all. He didn't even need that. But it did stem back to the fishing ships, which he did a great job on. It was so funny to me how that one villager, that actually not this one, but that one villager was able to peel off from the group and change the start of this game. But the coolest thing for me is really how Dal was able to contest for water, and he was able to make towers without having to go to gold. He didn't go to gold until he was on the way to Castle Age. It's a really cool bonus. And in many ways, I don't think the poles are OP, which makes it even more exciting because that was my first instinct when I heard of that bonus. I was like, oh, the Civ's going to be broken. Don't think it necessarily is. Poles are really fun. I'm loving the farms, even though it does make me place my farms a little bit more appropriately, which ruins my reputation. But yeah, we'll talk more about it. I'll upload more videos. If you guys have any thoughts on polls as a whole, or this game, let me know in the comments. And guys, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. For me, I know that you guys like to fall asleep to my videos, or you like to watch this during work or after work or whatever. But, you know, even though I can't reach out and get to know every single one of you, that would be kind of difficult. I appreciate you all. I do see your comments, and just you being there and interested in what I'm putting out each and every day is so cool and exciting, especially because this game is supposed to be dead. How are we here right now? New civs again? What on earth is that? Here's the statistics. Lots of good resources there for Doubt. So I think if the rate is 2-1 from stone to gold, Doubt brought in like 900 gold.
We're here for the heavy flowers and the wedgie pickers with a pad made like no other. Up to 0 leaks because it locks blood in. Up to 0 bunching because it flexes. No worries, just always Flex Foam.
Game, so this should be a really epic final.
Yeah, indeed. Usually goes to like 3-2 and things like that. But I'm not sure if you're in the game yet.
Yeah, we're good. I'm live. Yep.
Okay, cool. Civilizations, Lyra in the green color, playing as the Mayans here for Arabia. Not really a surprising pick there. I'm not sure. It will be interesting to see where he uses Aztecs then going forward. And Yo playing Britons, surprisingly enough as well. Not a typical pick here, but maybe it was meant as a bit of a counter pick to Aztecs. But against Mayans, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I guess if you're able to get some walls down and make it an archer battle in the mid, it's not too bad for Britons, but I know you had some experiences with it as well. These maps have been very pure Arabia, open, as people want when they play Arabia, and I think that could be relatively tough for Yo, but it is also open on the other side as well, so control is going to be key.
Yeah, if you look at the front of Lyra's base, he has very easy to wall his front side, you can say. And he could actually just connect all the woodlines all the way to the edge of the map, because he has a really nice back gold. And wouldn't be surprised to see Lyra even trying for a Drushfast Castle. We know he loves to do it. And with a gold in the back like that, I think he will be very tempted. Yo as well, though. Nice back gold. Woodlines kind of close and safe. So, and Yo is going for a pre-mill Drush. And Lyra is not. So it will be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, Leary also moving out across the map, but he moved out across. Oh, sorry, he moved out across at the start, and now is going back out to scout. So it's not as if he's close to seeing that. Did you have any huge say in the map scripts for this? I know there's so many maps and a lot to do in the lead up to a tournament. I'm just curious if you gave input for this Arabia because you played on so many.
Actually, I tried to make him minimize the woodlands a little bit even more because right now we have 4 woodlands. I think is the guaranteed around each player.
Okay.
And I was suggesting maybe making it 3.
Okay.
But I don't remember exactly what the argument was, but it was a reasonable argument to keep it 4. But I think he made the woodlands smaller, so it contributes a bit to the map being a little bit more open.
Yep.
So I didn't want it to be the typical guaranteed Drushfast Castle fiesta we kind of can have on Arabia.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously I gave feedback, especially Nomad is the one where we tried to make it a little bit more less RNG based, and I think we did a good job there. But yeah, obviously had a little bit of a say, but huge credits to Krajini for making the maps the way they are. They took some of your stuff from Hidden Cup with, for example, trying to make the boar spawn in the back of the base to reduce the risk of laming and certain things like that.
Yeah, I think the Nomad was a concern for me as we see the scout here for Yo. I'm not sure if that's worth it. Nomad was a concern for me, and Nomad's been really good. And I actually have enjoyed this Arabia version, and the reason I brought that up was not so much the number of woodlines, but how forward they tend to be. Very rarely can someone get by with full wall safe back woodlines. So if you want to go fast castle as Yo's going in, it's going to be brutal. And speaking of, Leary with less than ideal start here.
Yeah, great start for Yo. Also saving his scout in the end there. So that scout should just get out of dodge. And there will now have to wall in his woodlines. And Yo has to be a bit careful. He might even get a villager here, Yo. Is he gonna commit? Ooh, he should not probably. Will lose the militia. Ooh,
Yeah,
bit of a misjudgment.
do you send one Vil there? Because that's a one-hitter. Do you send one militia, excuse me, and there goes the scout? Instead of two?
If
or...
you wanna, yeah, if you wanna commit on the villager kill, there's no need to send more than one.
Yeah.
Because you just need one hit anyway, right?
Yep.
So I think in the end, the opening seemed a bit rough for Yo, for Leary, but he got out of that okay, and the militia don't have too much HP left, and of course it's still awkward, but both players ended up with a drush. Leary seems to be following up with a fast feudal age, while Yo might still be thinking about the fast castle behind this.
Okay, so Leary made one militia, lost it, and kind of canceled that idea in his mind. He said, forget about it, it's not worth it, which I think is good. Oh, excuse me, I think I got it wrong. He made more than one. But I think it was a good idea to stop making them, and he's going to open up with archers here, I guess.
Yeah, which is potentially not going to work, because if you look at the minimap here for Yo, he has already made himself an arena. And
Yeah.
it takes some time to get through walls with just archers at this point, so Yo definitely looks like he wants to go for the Drush fast castle follow-up, and Leary obviously now committing on the faster feudal age, meaning he has to make something happen earlier on, and yeah. He has two militia alive though, so he could still upgrade them, even making a third one. So this will still be Man-at-Arms follow-up from Leary.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to go Drush FC, because your best game mode, or game modes, excuse me, not your best game mode, but your best game window for you, your timing is going to be early castle, and that's what Yo's trying to get to right now, as you see Yo even trying to take out the deer. And Leary not happy about that, but I mean, that does add up a little bit of decay, as Yo is just sitting pretty behind his walls.
Yeah, Leary now going to discover that he is up against full walls, and that archery range has to come up instantly. It does. And it still feels though like usually this happens with like the normal like 21, 22 pop-up, not after a drush kind of, because Leary also opened sort of a drush, so
Yeah.
the archery range is even late, which means that the pressure will come even later, meaning that Yo, in theory, should be completely fine here to go through with the drush fast castle.
Yep.
But actually, Yo is not doing it. He has committed 13 villagers on wood, meaning it's very likely that he will actually play feudal age himself.
So I know there's a lot of conversations about walls in our community, and rightly so. But Yo has placed 67 palisades, and then houses, and then villager time. I mean, that is really tough, even with 28 villagers, to be able to afford this. And I feel like he's kind of in that in-between situation you never want to be at, where he's arrived late to feudal, so he hasn't had anything really to pressure with, and he still can't go castle age.
Yeah, but at this point I think he's just content with the situation. He will just drop double range in the blacksmith, get the eco upgrades, and play it feudal age, which with Britons as well, it's not... Wait, he's actually going one range blacksmith. He's not doing eco upgrades. Is he trying to... No, he's doing it now, okay. Yeah, I was a bit confused there, but yeah, he will just be content playing like this. He will, once he gets a few archers out on the field, he will be completely fine against this, and then I don't necessarily think he will be later to castle age than Leary, but
Okay.
you never know. And it's going to be translating into a very equal mid-game here.
Yep, losing on the berries will hurt, but this is something that Yo seems to expect. So he'll see that fletching is in, so he has to be a little careful. He should get his own fletching upgrade as he places the palisade. Good pressure from Leary. It kind of looked like he could have fallen further behind when the drush was coming in, but he never lost that villager. And he's able to take all of his deer in the end, and he was faster to archers, so he's in a good spot.
Yeah, indeed, the pressure is also in, but he has to be careful now because Yo is also Briton, so he has that faster archery production and doing a second range as well, while Leary is currently staying one range. So suddenly the numbers might be in favor of Yo very quickly. And then Leary has to be careful with how aggressive he is, because if Yo catches his army off guard, then that could snowball out of control. But Leary playing it cautiously, moving out of dodge, and now gonna try to find another angle to do damage.
Can you talk a little bit for the viewers about the timing on the walls? Like, for example, Yo's fully walled right now, but he's now on the back foot. What do you think about Leary delaying his walls right now?
I think the way Leary is walling, first of all, is interesting. It's like, it seems a lot of very choppy, like there's one palisade here, one palisade there, but either way. Leary doing it the nice thing, just like, because Leary knows he has the full pressure, he knows he doesn't have to worry about being attacked at the moment. So just making the wall slow and safe is a very economic approach as well, rather than rushing the walls. Like Yo in this case, the walls obviously bought him time to get to feudal age and be safe. but now Leary is through anyway, so
Yeah.
it's not like he completely avoided damage by simply being walled.
Also, it's the timing of when you wall. If you're going to pull 4 villagers to wall when you have 25, that's going to hurt a lot more than you pull villagers at 35. So as Yo is likely going to defend here, you never know with Leary Micro. It's pretty close. Jeez, that is the strongest man-at-arm ever. But yeah, we'll see the dancing. But I think, you know, both players are going to be pretty much in the same spot making archers. But one player is going to be faster to Castle Age, and that's Leary.
Yeah, good micro from both players. They're trading roughly equal, and yeah, now behind this Leary will be faster, but Yo will have the numbers, and as the game goes on, because Leary still doesn't have a second range. Yeah, the timing though, I mean, all Yo needs to do is survive and not take damage until he is Castle Age, and then he has to take advantage with the extra range. And Yo's food eco is looking fairly solid. He won't be clicking up too much later, and he might have a time window now where he can put a little bit of pressure on Leary. But yeah, Leary, we know how deadly he can be with that early Castle Age time when we saw it against Jordan, for example, as well, where just 2 minutes into Castle Age, GG. And I don't expect that to happen here, but you never know with Leary.
He's actually making skirms. He's going to go skirm defense, so he, instead of trying to use the cheap mine archers against the extra range from Britons, he pretty much full expects he'll be outpowered. What do you think about that lumber camp? I mean, I guess it's the only wood he saw, but do you see that lumber camp from Leary in the north?
Yeah.
It's like 10 trees or something.
Leary also is catching the archers of Yo, and Yo is just move commanding, taking big hits. Leary doesn't have armor, so Yo could in theory have taken decent trade if he was paying attention, but yeah, Leary getting 2 picks-offs for free, 3 even, and still going to chase those archers down. And Leary probably will go very economic focus here, just get those town centers up, get the eco rolling, and then play the game from there. He's also added 2 eagles in his barracks, so maybe we see an eagle skirmisher play here. I'm not sure. But I feel like this is still a fine position for Yo. I would not mind this at all.
Yeah, the thing is, normally TC timing is huge, but you can always catch up quite easily with Britons because your town centers are so cheap. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a close game. Leary, I mean, his walls are fairly secure. He'll probably add some eco, but is there anything that Leary's not doing with his faster Castle Age that, well, granted, he's about to hit, so we'll see. But is there anything that he is to keep in mind here, I guess, as he knows that Yo's going to push back soon?
Well, he needs to decide where do you invest your resources now? Do you do elite skirmishers? Do you go town centers? And what exactly... Because skirmisher is not an offensive unit. You don't kill a lot with skirmishers. But yeah, he's going for elite skirmishers. He's going for the armor upgrade before town centers. So he's just trying to apply pressure here with the skirms and a couple of eagles to hit the walls. But Yo is about to hit the Castle Age in less than a minute, and he's going to have extra range on the archers. Once their crossbows as well, he's going to outrange everything Leary has. And he has a stable and adding a... What? He's adding a barracks.
Supplies,
okay, Yo is being mind game hard here. He thinks Leary is going eagles, and that's gonna... That's not a great thing for Yo. Okay, deletes the barracks. Okay, good call, I think.
He's so good. It's like he has too much time before he's in Castle Age and he wants to do stuff. He doesn't know what to do right now. Yeah, I think he still completed supplies, but good he canceled that. That would be a real awkward spot to show up with longswords when the enemy only has a few eagles.
So I think Yo is actually in a better position right now because he also did horse collar as soon as he got the feudalage, so his farming eco will be slightly more lasting longer, and he will have the range on the crossbows, and he has the armor on the knights, so he will get some knights into the mix as well. And I do prefer the Britain's composition then. Yeah, Leary is doing ballistics though, and getting Bosa, so he's still in a good position. But Joe as well, immediately 2 TCs, knight production is there, he has the crossbow range. Okay, knight production is not there, but it should have been there.
He's kind of in a spot where he's going to decide on a bunch of things. Yes, the TCs are cheap, but he doesn't have a university to get ballistics for his crossbows. And he does not have the food eco set up to make a lot of knights with his crossbows. So I actually don't like the... I feel like he's not really easing into the Castle Age as well as he might want to. But he doesn't necessarily need to go offensive here. He's got a stone in the back. He's got a gold in the back. So as long as he keeps his crossbows at a mass, I think he's going to be somewhat satisfied with things.
Yeah, Leary getting some solid hits now with the ballistics upgrade. He's doing +2 armor as well, and wheelbarrow, and finally adding a second TC himself. Yo was out on the map with a scout looking around, so he wanted to find out if Leary is following this up with a forward, which he is not. And Leary keeps making eagles, so I guess elite or eagle warrior will be on the cards as well. And Yo, not taking great trades there. Sure, the Knights will get some hits, but the crossbow numbers going down this heavily is only good for Leary.
Yep. He's trying to get the Eagles out of the picture, doing an okay job. But then again, in the end, it looks like Yo will be pushing out, and I guess it's okay to toss away a couple crossbows here or there if your ranges produce this fast, and he'll get more out there. And I'm noticing those golds. We haven't talked about that. Those golds are so important in the middle. So it's good for Yo that he's controlling that.
Yeah, if you compare goals, Leary has both the extra goals safe behind his walls, so pretty good map for Leary there. And again, I think Leary was way too confident in that fight. Sure, he picked off some skirms, but as long as the Eagles are just Eagle scouts, they're not that scary for Knights. And even the crossbows do a lot of damage to those Eagles when they have so few upgrades. And Yo just suddenly has full map control, he has the better army composition, and he has the equal lead. So Yo is looking in a fantastic spot.
Do you follow this up with Siege? You see the range and the barracks are on the front. You know that he's mainly just going to sit behind his walls with skirms. To me, I feel like Siege follow-up is perfect here.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense. And there we go, Siege Shop being dropped as we speak. Because Leary as well, obviously Yo doesn't know, but Leary, his map is a bit awkward with the wood. He's got 13 villages on the lumber camp on the top, and then finally dropping a TC there on the gold.
Yep.
Or he changed his mind. Okay, drops it again. But yeah, wood income for Leary is a bit awkward with the left TC being quite exposed. That's probably going to be the target of Yo for now. And for sure, as long as Leary doesn't upgrade those Eagles into Eagle Warriors, Yo has a lot of potential to keep pushing here and doing damage.
Stone as well, right? Sometimes you need a castle for plumed archers or just to bail yourself out of a position. But Yo is camping the one stone with his crossbows. The other stone is part of his wall on the right side. So again, I just need to salute Krazini out there, because while there were good things about Leary's map, namely the golds, there are also bad things about Leary's map. So it's a really good map script overall with pros and cons for both players.
Speaking of stone, if we look at Yo's stone count, I predict a castle to come up on Leary's face at some point, especially behind this pressure. This is something Yo loves to do. He loves to apply that little bit of pressure and then bam, slaps a castle in your face, and you just, while you have been building up armor to potentially deal with the pressure, suddenly there's a castle there and you're like, you're unable to engage ever, and then it's just such an awkward spot. Yo will lose a villager here though on the front, but the Mangum is now out and Leary's gonna see it. And yeah, Leary's gonna have a tough challenge ahead of him, but he's getting those upgrades on the Eagles, so massing those Eagles could be key for him, but I still feel like Yo just has enough Knights, has enough crossbows, and there's the castle in the face.
You know what I love about the timing on Yo's castles as well, and you've experienced this, he does it in 50-50 army situations where the fight would be close, where maybe if they were to fight you, they would like clear out most of Yo's army, but they have to choose between stopping the castle and taking the vills, and thus losing the fight, or not losing the fight, but letting the castle go up. Like right now, it looks like Leary could maybe consider taking an engagement. You have the monks out, you have the Eagles out, but can he do it, Viper?
Great house by Yo as well here, making the Eagles unable and getting big Magnus shot as well. He makes the Eagles unable to fight, and still it's not Eagle Warriors, it's Eagle Scouts. They can never engage this, and the castle will go up, and Leary can't do anything about it.
Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, like Leary now is gonna feel so much pressure. He's like, Yo could easily behind this just stop production, put some more villas on gold, and even go to Imperial Age. And Leary has to make so many units now to just try his best to survive and not die to this pressure. Yo missing ballistics now. Ballistics would have been crucial for him to keep dealing damage here, but still, that castle is just such a dominant, strong castle.
Yo is just so fun to watch strategically, and Leary's really... Oh, as he gets 3 knights, if he could only pull those back and save them, that'd be helpful. But Leary's really in need of some type of a counter, but at the same time, he constantly needs to defend himself. This is rough.
The issue for Leary's situation right now, I feel like if I was playing, I would think that I have a better economy. Because I look at the score and I'm like, well, he has a massive army and he's just 100 points ahead. Yeah, I probably have a better eco, right? But he's actually 10 bills behind as well.
Crazy.
It's just, Yo is just ahead in every single way, and Leary now going for a counterattack, but everything is going to run into his walls unless Yo overchops on the bottom side. And Yo should have the time to react and respond exactly what he wants to.
Yep, Yo has just seen it all, man. He's experienced it all. We'll see it. We'll probably see a palisade attacked here by the Eagles, and it would be insane for Yo to be able to react to this, but it's kind of expected of him. And yep, he sees it, and he'll plop down some houses. I think he's going to be okay, and No
Oh, he's
overchop
overchopped. He has
yet.
overchopped. Oh,
Oh!
but he responds. Perfect
Nice.
timing there. Oh, wait.
What?
The Eagles came in.
I didn't see that. And then at the same time, Leary is losing villagers underneath his town center, Viper. So a
And
lot
he's
is
losing
happening.
2 town centers.
Yeah.
He's taking 2 TCs as well.
2 Eagles in for
Ah.
losing 2 town centers. I don't know if that's worth it for Leary.
Yeah, and besides this as well, Yo is making the switch to long swords. And the Eagles got in though.
No
So,
way.
Eagles broke in the end. Yo finishing the wall, so the Eagles will not get in. But he still loses some villagers. But still, Yo is 20 villagers ahead now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah, Leary might be thinking about Imperial Age with the situation, but there's no defense now for the farming economy of Leary. Look at that. 30 villagers running away from the farms. That's your whole food economy right there.
And,
look at
and
the castle.
Yo's gonna drop the castle where the TC was. What would Ornlu say? The ultimate get out of my game castle. I would love for him to build a TC there and steal the farms personally, but I think that'll definitely seal the deal as the Eagles are trapped in here now. Yo's gonna have the answer to them pretty soon. Knights and longswords will probably be on the way.
Yeah, so already a couple of men-at-arms out there and some knights, and Eagles are also a little bit hurt from the town center fire, and town center is now with ballistics as well. Yo will clean that up easily. The second castle is just asserting his dominance, and Leary just awkwardly transitioning all over the map now,
Yep.
trying to find any resource that he can cling on to and collect for a while, but I'm sure that Yo is looking to finish this game as soon as possible.
Yeah, maybe one of those where it's the first game of a series and Leary just wants to play on a little longer here, but I think it's probably dawning on him that there's just no way back for him. If he continues to play, I think he's only going to lose more space, and even if he doesn't lose more space, as he tries to engage here next to this new castle. Oh, Big Mag and shot maybe. Nope, never mind. Sorry, it's not going to work out for Leary. And, yep, the GG is called. What a game! That was a really fun way to start this all off.
Indeed, and it kind of was a back and forth to Drush from Yo. Yo had initiative, Leary dealt with that, and Leary went aggressive and had initiative. And then Leary had the faster castle edge time, had initiative, and Yo took back the initiative with that one crucial fight. And after that big fight where Leary lost all his skirmishers, Yo never let the initiative go. And those castles following up as well was just perfect play, and very, very well done by Mr. Yo here.
What was it that went wrong for Leary? Because remember, he defended from the Drush decently. He had the faster castle age. He was the one pressuring Yo, and then somehow it turned into 2 castles at his base. Was it the early engagements? Did he overextend possibly?
Yeah, it was definitely, I mean, he traded some archers initially, right? But that was a fine trade because he was switching into skirms anyway. I think Leary was just a bit too greedy. He wanted to go for skirms into eagles, but those eagles never got upgrades. So as soon as Yo gets to castle age, has the crossbow numbers, and just mix in a few knights, that fight will never end well for Leary. So he probably overstayed his welcome forward as well. If he just fell back after like poking a little bit, and I thought as well that I didn't think he would do elite skirm right away. I thought he would drop 2 TCs and then maybe do elite skirm as Leary hits the castle age.
Okay.
So I feel like he rushed those upgrades a little bit at cost of his economy, and then the upgrades didn't really give him anything anyway. So
Yeah,
but still, obviously, Yo just made all the right decisions, and that's usually how you win games.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Strategy game, making the right decisions. Woo. We're bringing the good stuff here, man.
Of course.
Okay, so I think stylistically before the finals, if we would have discussed the pros and cons for either player, or I guess their strengths and weaknesses, we would have probably said that Leary is the favorite going into any Arabia style map. Would you agree with that?
I think Arabia at, let's say, top 5, top 6 level is very much 50-50 at this point.
Okay.
Sure, some players like Hera Leary will have the little edge in maybe like pure micro games, but the civilizations within drafts are so important as well. And it's not as straightforward as saying that, yeah, he's better than him anymore. It's a lot about the civs and how they approach the matchup as well. But yeah, I do understand the concept of saying that Leary and Hera, Hera in particular, probably would be favored on Arabia for the most part, because it very much suits their styles of play as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, the land maps that were available that were not banned out and that did not include walls are all picked by Leary. And the next game is going to be Atacama, I've heard. So Atacama, Land Madness, and Gold Rush as options. Talk to me about Atacama. This is the water version. I believe it's the same exact version that people might have seen in the German championships, the U.S. championships, and maybe others. Which civilizations have you seen as dominant on this version?
So the first of all, Atacama it's mostly inspired by the way they made it during Red Bull 2, I think, where the water in the corners just add another aspect of challenge to the players in terms of decision-making strategy and so forth. And I personally think the more options there are in ways to play the game, I think is more exciting and more fun.
Yeah.
Because you can see so many different approaches. And Atacama is already such a specific map with the wood in the center that if you add those pawns to the side, those pawns require wood to have benefits.
Yep.
So it just adds another level of difficulty. And Lithuanians come to mind. You can go to the wood right away, get those fishing ships out ASAP. You have civs like Japanese, I would say Malay in the past, but no longer anymore because of the fish traps not being infinite. But yeah, usually the hybrid civs, so Persians, and we also see civs like Magyars and Bulgarians because of the early initiative they could have. But I think Lithuanians, Japanese, these are probably the two go-to civs, and those are the civs we're going to see.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think they'll be hopping in here. Yeah, I actually did some training games with Jordan before I played in a tournament with this map. Don't ask me how the results went for me when we did the games, please.
Don't have to.
Yep, exactly. And so anyways, we also discussed the civs, and I did my own testing, and Jordan gave me his notes, and basically we felt like Lithuanians were the civ if you get that start down. And I said all of this before Leary played Japanese against Doubt yesterday, and Leary dominated with Japanese. So I don't think there can be any question over Japanese versus Lithuanians, so it should be pretty close.
I only played this game once, and that was against Taro, where he was Lithuanian, I was Japanese. I won that game as well, but I don't think that and the game yesterday means the Japanese are better. But Lithuanians usually should have a better early game, and when Doubt plays like he played, obviously Japanese will look better. just gonna put that out there.
Thank you.
But,
see, I can't say it like that because I'm not as close to him, but that was just bad, man. That was just not good.
Hey, you just said it.
Well, I didn't say it like you said it though. You said it with a more rude tone. I said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but yeah, like the way Doubt played was just super confusing. I think he as well, if he rewatches those games, he's gonna be like, what was he thinking? You know?
Right. Yeah.
That's usually how it is. No, but yeah, I think Lithuanians should be the best. Japanese, right after them. But it's still a very close game. Both civs have great fish, and it always depends on the opening. That's Atacama as well. That's why also civs like Magyars are good options there, because the early initiative and the power spike of that plus extra attack on scouts, for example, is massive. And we can see Yo already getting his dock up. And Leary, though, kind of preparing for his own dock, so not too far behind.
Yeah, so in the testing I did, now granted, I am not as good as you or any of these players, surprise, surprise, but I actually felt like the strategy where you build the dock before lumber camp ended up giving me better economy and solid feudal age times. Now, I think the approach of just going to wood earlier is much safer and probably what most of you guys are going to prefer, right? Because you're less about power spikes and more about overall efficiency, but I have been rather surprised that players haven't been doing that. If you think there's 500 wood with the stragglers, if you get 5, I think occasionally there's 6. You can get a couple fishing ships out before the opponent even has a dock. So not the approach for Yo. Still will have a lead. I also find it interesting that on this Atacama generation, they both are on a little nugget of wood, which means they might need to relocate close to each other to that middle section sooner than most games.
Yeah, most spawns I've seen as well have been like, you don't spawn on the opposite side of each other, you kind of spawn more like in like how to say? Like to the east and then to the northwest kind of, so like super close to each other.
Yeah.
Right now it's like pretty much the longest distance you could have between the two players, and that probably makes it slightly less aggressive, but yeah, I mean, they have plenty of wood still, but both of them will have to transition to a bigger wood eventually, as you're saying. But to speak on your whole lumber camp before dock kind of thing, it is definitely safer. And I think unless you see like a player like Max doing the dock before lumber camp, then it's not good.
Yeah.
Because he's a guy who will have tested it thoroughly, and like if he has figured out that I get a better economy with that, then he will do it.
Yep.
And if he doesn't do it, then it probably isn't the case. And yeah, sure, you might get like a slightly faster fuel age time with better food, but still, I think you want the more stable wood income to have an easier transition into fuel age.
Aha! I just baited you into confirming that you should make a lumber camp before chopping your straggler trees, regardless of the civ. That's all I wanted.
That's not true, though.
Okay, all right, fine. I wasn't actually baiting you, but dude, the one time I spent like 4 weeks the first time Loey the Legends came out, hammering home that people shouldn't chop their straggler trees a lot as Yo sends a villager forward. And then I watched you play some tournament game, and you just chopped them all right away with some funky build. I wasn't happy with you. I have forgiven you at this point, but it still brings back painful memories.
Oh, how can I live without your forgiveness? Oh,
Oh, I know. This is unorthodox, though, that Yo is sending this Vil forward. I don't think I've seen that yet on this this map version.
oh, if I recall correctly, I've seen it 2 times already this tournament, 2 or 3 times. I think Yo did it as well in one game. So,
Did you see
yeah,
that?
definitely. Huh?
Yo's scout just
TC,
walked directly
yeah.
underneath Leary's TC, and Leary didn't even react.
Well, you know, these kids don't have the APM of the guys like Doubt, so can't expect to see everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Yo has just improved the timing of this. Like right now he's arriving, he's going to build a dock, and that's going to be perfect timing.
Yeah.
When I've seen it being done previously, the timing has not been as on point right as now. Previously it's usually been, oh, Yo could trap Leary Scout, by the way, and he's doing it. Gate, house, and palisade. Yo Scout is trapped. Leary Scout is trapped.
No way, Leary. You can't let this happen. And now, oh, it's double trouble. And that scout will probably die to Yo's scout because Yo will be in feudal age faster. Yo is on point here, man. And he's been, just like you, watching all the games today for his audience on his stream. So, sick stuff.
Yo is just building up so he can delete the palisade gate and go and kill the scout with his scout and the villager supporting. I'm not sure why he's not pulling the villager as well. Okay, it doesn't matter. And yeah, Leary will have no scouting intel. He will not know that the dock of Yo is there before the fire galley hits his first fishing ship. And then it's kind of too late to respond. And Leary is not even on stone. Leary is going for the stable just like he did against Doubt. So probably Yo saw the games Leary played against Doubt yesterday.
Yeah.
And is playing exactly to counter that specific style. And Yo right now looks again to be in a fantastic position.
He's just now adding a barracks, which is a little awkward, but you're never going to be able to have the barracks and the stable and the dock. Do you jump out here with 1 fire galley or 2? Because it is Japanese fish.
You go right away. You just want to force the issue right away. And like, because even if Leary adds a fire galley himself, by the time he has 1 fire galley, you have 2.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter for you. And Yo has already confirmed that there's stable opening for Leary. And when you're going scouts as well, losing your starting scout is just so painful. And again, the late barracks for Yo doesn't matter because I feel like Yo again playing kind of blind, heavy counter to exactly what Leary wants to do on this map. And so far it's working out perfectly for him.
Yeah, it's so cool to see that because some players... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, just that Yo... I think he spotted the dock from Leary on the top side.
He did.
Yes, he sees the dock. He's sending a villager right away.
No way.
Leary is going to build a dock, start fishing, and when he has 2 fishing ships, suddenly there's going to be fire galleys there from Mr. Yo. This is so painful for Leary.
This is so sick from Yo. I love it. And it looks like he's even sending a villager to the south where Leary's also going. So it's like anywhere Leary goes for fish, Yo's already going to be there.
Indeed. Yo might run into the villager. Nope, he actually dodges, doesn't see it. So obviously Leary has the mobility now with the scouts, which is always nice, but Yo just has a clear edge, winning the water on the bottom. He could even start fishing on the bottom, which is exactly what he's doing as well. And Leary still hasn't touched a single pile of gold, meaning he will not ever be able to compete with the water.
Yeah.
And there we go, dock on the top side for Yo. And that fish that Leary has started fishing, that's about to disappear as well.
Also, what I love about it is Yo didn't get close to the dock in the north. It's the small things, right? He didn't even let Leary know that he spotted it because he was out of there the second that he saw that, knowing that Leary would react. Now, Leary does have scouts. Yo is trying to get some villagers to other resources soon, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. And Leary is transitioning into farms and has range tech coming in soon, so crazy stuff.
Yo even scouted the bottom dock now and confirmed it with the scout, so he knows that there is a dock there. Yo is on point this game, man.
Wow.
On point.
Dude, he has scouted every pond with that scout and killed Leary's scout. He's still keeping that active. I would have put that bad boy on auto scout a long time ago. I cannot keep up with that.
Yeah, it's not only that he has scouted every part of the map. He has scouted and confirmed a dock in every corner of the map
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, right.
And that's something you usually never get.
Well, dream scenario, he even walled in his villager in the south, so he won't lose that vill. And walled in the villager in the north. This is near perfect play right now. I don't think there's any other way to say it. And Leary just doesn't know what to do. He's 1 or 2 steps behind all the time.
Yeah. Leary is making fire galleys himself now, though. He is on gold, so he's making some archers, making some fire galleys. He's making a fire galley on the top side as well, because he wants to try and at least save that pawn, but Yo already producing a second one there. And only the bottom pawn is where I think that Leary might be okay.
Yeah.
But even there, Yo is producing a second one. Leary only has one.
Crazy. Now, Yo starting to play tower defense at home. He's got 0 farms. He doesn't have many on berries, so I do think there is a concern with balance. He's committed a lot to the pawns, could win the pawns, but might need to think at some point about doing some other things for food. But he's repairing his fire in the south. Leary can't do that, and if Leary doesn't pay attention there, he's going to be down a fire galley.
Yeah. Leary pulling it back now. He's going to repair as well. He does have a villager himself, but he accidentally clicks fishing.
Oh,
What? Oh, that is so sad. He started fishing with a woman, so she didn't repair him in time. Oh, that is so sad for Leary. And yeah, Leary making 2 fire guys in the top though. He wants to compete for that pond. Yo isn't fishing there though, so I think Yo is fine with that. And resources as well, looking quite healthy here for Yo to be transitioning towards the castle age quite soon. But then again, Leary, he's adding a healthy food eco on land.
Yeah.
Got solid amounts of farms and still has some fishing ship active. So no matter what, if you look at the villager count or economy count, Leary is still very close to Mr. Yo.
yeah, I talked about it a lot in Hidden Cup, which had cross. I think you need balance on these maps, and I'm a little concerned that Yo hasn't made any farms. You know, even without horse collar, get some food income. It looks like he's going down approach, adding a market at home. Maybe just wants to buy his way up, but Leary's
No one
doing
should
it.
go doubt approach.
Okay, fair enough. Decent assessment, I suppose. But wait a second, didn't you and Doubt die in the same stage of the tournament, Viper?
Exactly.
Is that why you're so disappointed?
I
It's-
went doubt approach.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Wrong training partner, I guess. Tato was busy or something.
Well, I didn't get to train too much to be fair, but honestly, I don't think Doubt trained a single set for the tournament.
Okay.
If I recall
Well,
correctly.
they are maps that most players are going to feel familiar with. So there is some argument to be made that maybe you wouldn't need as much. But what a game we have here. Yo's clicked up, but Leary's going to be right behind him.
Yeah, and Leary wins back the pond in the top, so that's a small victory. He also kept one fishing ship alive to begin with, and now already started adding fish himself. And Yo on the bottom not reacting. Leary popping out 3 fire galleys, and Yo was still busy shooting at a palisade, and Leary winning back 2 pawns, so suddenly it's 2-2 pawns.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yo was doing a tower on the gold on the bottom left with the dock villager.
Bottom left. Oh, that one. I was
Oh,
like, where?
Left side. Yeah, not bottom.
didn't
left.
make
Oh, but
sense.
Leary broke the wall though. That's a Doubt
Nice.
tower.
Not the end of the world for Yo because he's already on stone. That would have been pretty ambitious to say the least because I think he'd have to fully wall it in as well.
Yep.
I think we're about to see some knights though, Viper. It would make sense. The stable's already up for Leary, and we do have Lithuanians involved, and Yo's making his stable, so they're coming.
Yeah, Leary is going crossbow though. He's still committing on the archers, and I expect that to be crossbow. I don't see a second stable. Wouldn't be surprised to see cav archers either, yeah, but Yo will definitely go for... I would expect it to be double stable, but so far only adding 1 stable. Kind of one of each build right now. But yeah, if you look at the economies, of course, Leary doesn't have wheelbarrow, which Yo does, but Leary has 5 more economic units.
What a sick
Yo is
job
queuing
from
up a
Leary.
galley. Where is he queuing up a galley? What? Oh, he wants to hit the gold from the water with the galley on the left side.
Well, that's funny. I mean, he might need to get Bodkin for that to be hugely effective. But
Yeah.
again,
He's
what a
getting war
sick
galley.
job from Leary. As you're going to see him come forward with these crossbows. And Yo, oh no, Viper. That is not a good
Timing.
town center spot.
Yeah, if he reacts in time, he will not lose too many villas because the... It depends if Leary, does he have 20 seconds to wait until his upgrades kick in?
Ooh.
If not, Yo might save more villas than he would have liked. Leary could in theory just wait until the crossbow is there. But yeah, now he sees it and he's probably going to lose a couple of villas here. There is no answer yet. The knights don't even have bloodlines from Yo here. So after all is said and done, I think Leary is in a pretty good position.
Yeah. Yo put a lot of effort into the puns, but he didn't end up winning all of them. And he never transitioned his economy, so he doesn't have good eco. He doesn't have good eco upgrades. He doesn't have good military now in Castle Age as a result. Just regular skirmishers, just knights without bloodlines, and someone like Leary is going to be able to pick the proper spots here. Yo's going to have to stabilize his economy somehow, and I feel like maybe his eco is even worse than it should be because he's had so much stone. 400 stone in the bank right now.
Yeah, worth pointing out though is that Yo is taking back the pawns both in the south and in the north.
Okay.
So that fish will disappear again for Leary. So after that, suddenly village counts again, or economy counts, will look very similar, but still the biggest issue for Yo is that TC got denied. Yo is being active with the knights and the spearmen on the front though, but yeah, Leary should have enough to defend for now.
Yeah, it looks like Leary will clear that. Good micro there from Yo though. He was able to get some good value. Maybe he'll be able to get out of there.
Oh, and the crossbow coming in now on Yo's woodline. Yo has not reacted yet. He has 3 knights there though with upgrades. He could potentially jump on this. Leary not scared though. Wants to take the fight. He can micro. He can 4-shot these knights. Yo looks like he just wanted to buy some time. But yeah, Yo needs more upgrades on these knights if he wants to be able to deal with what is actually quite a low number of crossbows from Leary, but they're doing a lot of work.
We don't see a second TC for Leary. He's actually on stone. I think we could see a lot more fortifications in the middle in the form of towers and maybe even a castle. As Yo is going to run out and finish his TC now.
Yeah.
Lose. He's okay.
Leary already lost one villager on the gold on the left side to the war galley, and he's now having to pull other villagers to another gold. And that's not a TC again, that's a mining camp. And Yo now dropping the 3rd TC in the center as well. Suddenly, long term, you start to think that Yo is putting himself in a better position.
Definitely. At eco counts pretty similar. Yo still refuses to build a farm, which bothers me so much. But, I mean, he's making it happen here. And the TC spots are on that center area of wood that players would eventually have to push towards. And here comes Yo looping around. And great job from Leary. Good defense.
Yeah, very nice quick walls indeed. And I'm starting to think maybe Leary... Okay, Leary's doing a TC now. I was wondering if he was saving the stone to drop a castle in the center. And I'm also thinking for Yo's case, maybe he can drop a castle and get the unique tech, which will give his town centers +3 range. That will pretty much nullify any potential damage Leary could do. So that will be an option to consider, but yeah, still quite a bit away from a castle drop here for Yo. And again, Yo has the mobility and Leary has a lot of exposed resources, so... I like that for Yo, but again, I feel the score is way in favor of Yo, even though that doesn't really explain how close this game is right now.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think that Yo is going to start to make some proper transitions economically, which I've been calling for maybe too long. He's got a relic already. I mean, all these things seem to be working well for him, and it's always a concern when you see a player like Leary running back home with crossbows. That's not what he tends to do. And all the knights, Yo needs to react here.
Yeah, under the TC. They also passed a monk of Yo here. And Yo losing 2 vills there. Not the end of the world. Could have been worse, but he reacts in time. Yeah, worth pointing out again is that Yo got wheelbarrow so early in Feudal Age, or quite early in Feudal Age, and he's just now placing the first farms. What effect does wheelbarrow have the most on? Or what does wheelbarrow affect the most? And that is the farms. And just now we have the first farms in Yo. It's very strange.
Well, I love how with the vision of the galley on the left, he's able to see the gold now. And he just keeps coming back to it. And Leary, I think his APM is better used elsewhere. I don't think that quick wall there would have saved the situation too much as he loses more vills. And he heads over to the gold. But wheelbarrow also makes your villagers faster when you're running from knights. So there goes
That's
Yo.
why he did it.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that tower will probably go down. Yo is very likely to lose a couple of vills here. Let's see if he runs away when he sees them. Okay, it's 2 monks, so Yo will come in just in time to save that. Very nice reaction from Yo. And right now, Yo is just defending, using a few knights to counter raid and defending with monks himself.
God.
And there's the castle. And Yo is doing his own castle.
It's the same spot! And now he canceled it!
And now Leary comes with his castle. How does... What?
What do you do? You can... I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, but he's going to make his own castle. Woo!
I don't think that castle reaches the villagers, though, because Yo only has fletching. Yeah. So castle from Yo will go up faster, but I think the castle from Leary will go up as well. And suddenly we're thinking, okay, whoever makes Imperial Age faster might have an edge here.
Yeah.
And I think Yo is looking easier, like better to transition to Imperial Age than Leary.
Well, Yo's going to ram that down. And Leary doesn't have an answer to rams. He doesn't have a Siege Workshop out, so yes, but if Yo instantly responds with Rams, which he's doing, Leary could lose that castle. But that was crazy. I mean, that was almost picture-perfect tile per tile there, as Yo is going to bring in Relic number 3, which is huge.
Yeah, Yo has a lot of items. So he has 13 villagers sitting in the castle right now. I'm not sure if he realizes that they're all there. Leary is building up petards.
What?
Not sure if that is an attempt. He's also making a Siege Workshops. He's making a Mangonel now, so he will have the units there to deal with the ram.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure why Yo is still sitting with 13 villagers inside the castle. That seems a bit wasteful.
Probably, yeah, I don't know. Do you, he also tasked his castle to Leary's castle, so he's not hitting the crossbows right now, and there he fixes that. But do you get Bodkin in Yo's position, just for your castle, and, you know, maybe TCs?
I think I would rather hear, like, Yo can almost drop a second castle, but I think in this case it might even make sense for Yo to sell the stone, buy food, and rather go to the Imperial Age.
Okay.
He's still producing villagers though, so, but I feel like in this case it's just get to Imp, trap down the castle, and the game is kind of heavily in your favor.
And could maybe pressure this southern side of the wood line, like the south middle-ish, and that's where Yo wants to drop a castle right now. And
Goes for even more ambitious.
I would like for that to be further forward, but he doesn't really have military, so.
Yeah. Can't really support that indeed. Now, the crossbow numbers of Leary are still the main issue, but yeah, Yo going on the top is now picking up another relic, and Yo is closing in on having all 5 relics.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the 5th relic is. Can't really see it.
It might be in a monk's hand. Oh yeah,
it's
it is
in the
middle.
center.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, looking like Yo might even be able to get all 5 relics long term.
Well, that matters for the gold, but also if he makes knights. And I don't think even with relics you necessarily want to make a ton of knights against Japanese. In fact, the only knight he has is a knight he converted from Leary that doesn't even benefit from the attack upgrades. So,
yeah.
Good and exciting. I know that it just feels so satisfying to get that, but at the same time, probably might want to opt for skirmishers if you're Yo. And you called it market abuse. Looks like Yo is really thinking about going Imperial Age here.
Yeah, here is... I have to point out Leary, I feel like he has done a better transition to land economy.
Yeah.
His farming setup looks bigger. He has more on food compared to Yo. So long term, that could really benefit him because Yo is not really committing heavily on the farming yet. He has some fish on the top, on the right side, and even on the bottom side now, but his farming eco is still not very healthy. So that's something Yo really should probably focus on getting up and running. But yeah, Yo with some monks and a mangonel in the center as well, trying to put some pressure on Leary's woodline. And what happened to Yo's castle?
Yo's castle has gone down. I assumed the petards that were in there. PC's been
I'm gonna
abandoned.
go back with the capture age to watch the castle disappear.
Hey.
Oh, Leary sent 7 petards in.
7?
And almost, yeah, he almost finished the job. The castle survived with 79 HP, and then the castle of Leary finished the job.
7. Yeah, you need 8 to get a full HP castle, so I'm just surprised it took that many. He also lost 4 villagers to a knight with no upgrades underneath his TC at the same time, so that's kind of a problem. As you see, the archer ranges for Yo, so he will be going elite skirm. And Lithuanians, you think about their knights, you think about their start with all their extra food, but their skirmishers are insane. What would Leary do against that, man? This is going to be brutal for him.
Yeah, villager difference as well, getting quite massive now in favor of Yo. He has 101 economy units to 75. And with the faster Imperial Age as well, the skirms will surely buy him enough time to transition to whatever else he want to do as a follow-up.
Yep.
And with the castle as well, Yo is doing a second castle on the top side now as well, as getting good trades with the Mangonel in the center. Looks like it's going to be 1-for-1 trade in the end, at the end of the day.
Whoa, or not.
Yo even gets the kill.
Is he going to auto-attack? Okay, never mind. I thought he'd lose it, Viper. And yeah, what do you do to stall out right now if you're Leary? Because that's what he needs, right? He needs to stall things out, but it's tough to do that on Atacama.
Well, killing a lot of Ills on the woodline on the right side is a good start for Leary. Still no ballistics though, so it's not as much guaranteed damage unless you're on top of the units. But yeah, Yo coming in with some elite skirms now. Still missing armor upgrades on those, but finally getting that in. And Yo also has ballistics, so I don't think Leary will ever escape this, as Leary is trying to dodge. But yeah, skirms moving faster for Lithuanians as well.
Castle.
Very likely he will clean up everything.
Castle in the mid.
Doubt is here again.
We've
And
seen
there's
more
Imperial
doubt than
Age.
doubt in this tournament, it feels like.
Indeed. Yo immediately 2 trebuchets in production, and Leary going for samurai. He has done some infantry upgrades, and he now has 6 samurai, I guess, to try and they have special attack against unique units, so kind of makes sense, but at the same time, samurai is probably not a reliable unit here, as he moves out on the top side as well and runs straight into Yo's second castle.
Ooh. Yeah, Leary probably just hit him that there's nothing he can do. He will lose his castles. If the answer to Skirmisher was Samurai, he's not going to have the building that creates them. And man, what a game from Yo. I mean, early Feudal was just a masterclass, and while it looked a little iffy and Leary responded well, I'm still just so satisfied watching that. That was so cool.
Yeah, very much strategic, and you can tell that Yo, I'm not sure if had done his homework, you can say, based on Leary's playstyle, because Leary just does exactly what Leary does. He plays what he thinks is the best approach, and exactly the same he did against Doubt. It worked out against Doubt, and Yo watched this at game, and what does Yo do? He just does exactly the right strategy to counter the way Leary wanted to play.
Yeah.
And it just worked out perfectly. The way Yo was on top of the scouting, like finding the docks on the bottom, dock on the top, sneaking the dock on the left and the right start, just put him so far ahead, and Leary just struggled really to catch up, really had to make compensate in different areas of the game, and then that didn't really work out either. But at the same time, credit to Leary, he managed to stay in the game for a long time. I think a lot of people would have just fallen out quite fast based on the opening.
Yep.
But Leary did some counterattack with the crossbows and made it a close game still, but in the end, Yo just able to take his early lead and bring it home.
Based on that start, I did not expect that game to go imp. That's how dominant it looked, and Leary, he held on there and gave himself real opportunities. But Yo with a really solid position. 2-0 isn't necessarily enough where you start to get ahead of yourself if you're Yo, especially against Leary. Leary's had some comebacks, but to win on Arabia and then win on Atacama, again, maps where maybe many might favor Leary over Yo, is good for Yo, as all of his home maps are still banked up, and we won't see them unless he loses a game.
Exactly, and so far so good. 2-0 for Yo. And Islands? Yo has Islands as a home map. Nomad, do you feel like Nomad is a map that should favor Yo?
Yep.
Islands is a map that could go either way. So, and Arena as well. It's like none of these players are clowns. So
Yeah.
it's like, I would feel very, very comfortable right now if I was in Yo's shoes.
True. Yeah, I think Leary and Yo have made some equally questionable decisions on Arena based on some of the games I've seen. But up next will be either Lands Madness or Gold Rush. So I guess if we try and speculate here on what civs might come, I mean, civs are going to be there. There's still plenty of civs remaining, but let's just say it's going to be Gold Rush next. What direction do you think Leary will take this?
If we look at the civilizations here, Leary still has Aztecs open. I think Aztecs kind of leans well towards Gold Rush. You know, Leary likes to play civs like Malians, and Tatars there as well. Malians is probably for Nomad though. So Tatars, I think, makes a lot of sense for Leary. And if it is Gold Rush, I would expect that. On Yo's side, I guess Khmer, something like Khmer or Vikings.
Yep.
Probably for Gold Rush for him.
Yeah, I think that what would really be tough for Yo, if Leary were to go Gold Rush now, is he's going to be tempted to go Khmer, which is a solid Gold Rush civ against most civs but Aztecs. I think Aztecs can do quite well. They don't have to worry about the Scorpions and the Knights because they can just go for a lot of monks with their infantry. So it'd almost be better for Yo's long-term thought process and civ selections to see Land Madness first, because he knows what to go for. That's his number one pick, Magyars.
Yeah. Either way, Gold Rush is confirmed as map 3.
Cool.
So there you have it. I'm going to go to the bathroom quickly, so I'll be back in just 2 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so game 3 coming up. Yo's looking good. The civilization's looking fairly even. I think it's fair to say that Leary needs a response here. Not sure what the viewers think. The viewers always think the opposite of the casters. At least me, anyways. It's probably the opposite. Anything Viper says is taken as complete fact regardless, and I'm questioned a little bit more, but rightly so. Rightly so. I think we're in different spots in our careers. But anywho, I'm curious to see how this goes, and I am just astounded at Yo's level. I mean, the scout, man, it's really the small things that sometimes get me because there's so many things that players have to do. It's already so complicated. That weak scout from the trap to the confirming in every single pond was just a work of absolute art. Beautiful. I rarely get chills in Age of Empires, but I got chills watching that. And I say rarely because you get used to the quality that's around and it's so, so high. And that was just even higher. And Leary might be thinking, uh-oh, is it not my day? What's the situation, right? So we'll know soon enough, I suppose. Also, I have absolutely no clue if Viper has muted me on his side, so this is awkward. But if he did not, hopefully I'm giving some insight before we get here. When you see Genius, you get chills. Pretty much, Cornish Penguin, pretty much. Now, I'm not going to tell jokes about Viper. That's unfair to Viper. I would never do that. He's not here. Why would I make jokes about someone when there's already so much that's been said by others? I'm kidding. It's a joke. See, that in itself was a joke about not making a joke. That is what we call satire and not at all serious. Okay? Game 3 will be on Gold Rush, and I think they've launched it. So I'll at least confirm the civs here. Viper doesn't know the tricks yet because he's kind of new to this casting scene, but it's pretty unprofessional for him to have to step away to go to the bathroom. You need to have a catheter in before you start a big day of Age of Empires. That's been the meta since 2019. I have a sheet of casting tips I'll pass along to Viper later, and hopefully he will provide a better experience for the next tournament he hosts. It will be Vikings Aztecs for the next game, and what I would call a must-win game for Leary. And I'm going to try and be respectful and wait a little bit for Viper, but we do have the game here, so I'll talk about general things.
All right, I'm back.
Ah, he's back. Awesome, Viper. It's Vikings versus Aztecs. A very fun Civ matchup to talk about. I'm glad you're back. I was going crazy without you.
All right, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, Vikings, I mean, okay, so think to Arabia, when Aztecs was always picked, what civs did people pick to counter Aztecs? Not only in Red Bull, but also on random map.
Yep.
King of the Desert. What civ did they pick to counter Aztecs?
Vikings.
Exactly, Tinani. Well done. 10 points to Gryffindor. So, Yo again with, I assume, expected Leary to go for Aztecs and goes Vikings. Yo is just making all the right decisions, and in theory, Vikings is a really good counter for this because you have the amazing infantry, you have the amazing economy, and you can compete on every front with the Aztecs. So yeah, it will be very interesting to see how Leary decides to approach this. If he goes for the massive eagle play, if he feels comfortable just going for crossbows, war against Vikings, and yeah, if Yo gets to like a later situation where he can have berserks roaming the field, he will be very happy with his situation.
This is a normal Gold Rush map generation on drugs. Look at every other map gen on Gold Rush, and that's Gold Rush. And then this is your Gold Rush on drugs. Gold positions are extremely awkward. Look at Leary. Berry position is beyond a wood line, which is also awkward. Then you look at Yo's position. I mean, it's not quite as bad, but even his golds are awkward. Yeah. So this is potentially going to be a very different Gold Rush game because they have to adapt their approach to not only their map, but the opponent's map.
Yeah, I wonder if they will, even if they scout the gold position of the opponent, I'm not sure if they can justify with the distance between them. It's a super long distance from player A to player B, so like trying to make something happen with this distance is very difficult. And we see Yo though going for the pre-milled rush, and he doesn't have Loom yet, and Leary's Eagle is about to pop in, and Leary surely wants to have some hits on this villager, but it's still so close to the town center that you'd imagine that Yo will get safely back home.
And will Leary react? Yeah, good job from Leary. We should see a gate here. Yeah.
Oh. And another gate, nice. Too much to ask for there.
Yeah.
But good job. Good thing for Yo now is the Eagle is chased to run the other direction, meaning he will not spot the barracks. And funnily enough, the barracks, the intention of this militia that Yo has made is not to be a part of a bigger drush. It's to have a lions chase him across the map into the economy of Leary. And with the berries being so far away, and look what Yo has scouted, do you have any idea what the direction this militia is taking right now?
They're going to go directly underneath the town center. Or to the berries, one or the other. I'm not sure. I'm not good enough to be able to call it. Viper, help me out. You're the procaster here. When it's a wolf, you say woo woo woo. When it's a group of lions, what do we say?
I don't even want to try that. Leary trying to wall off now, but the militia is coming just in time. And again, Leary has to make some insane quick balls now, not only here, but also on his berries. And he is going to pull them off. But either way, no matter what, this is just so annoying for Leary. And the Lions will... Oh, he gets in as well. Oh!
No way!
Delete the militia. Delete the militia. Oh, okay. I think Yo misplayed that a little bit. He should have just deleted the militia as soon as he was in. Just to make all the lines spread on the villagers. And this is idle time for Leary. It's annoying, but you know what? In the end, I don't think this was necessarily it wasn't a big investment for Yo, but if you calculate the resources Leary lost now with all this idle time, probably was more than 80 resources that Yo spent on the militia.
I think that was a massive misplay. I think he should have deleted it either by the berries or by the Waldenville, because the only way that gets dealt with is villagers have to fight that are very far away from the TC. Taking it close to the wood line, there might be more villagers there, but that's the result. So I think Leary's going to be very, very... he's going to be thanking his... he's going to be happy. Sorry, words fail me. That happened that way, as he didn't even have Loom.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like, just leaving the militia at some point when it's within the vicinity of... Leary's villagers. And Leary also, like, for example, his berries, he had 16 fruit left on those. So if Leary wasn't paying attention, he could have easily over-foraged and those lines would have been in. So yeah, a little bit of potential kind of missed out on there for Yo, but yeah, Yo securing his whole map here, and the Josh was still annoying for Leary to deal with, and they're both going to transition into a castle age here. Quite nice and safe.
So, not 5, sorry, let's say 3 years ago, with Vikings, I think it was a common strategy to see fast castles, right? Archer Civ, decent eco, and, you know, that's what you'd see. Now, you don't see fast castles with Vikings as frequently because more and more players are taking advantage of free wheelbarrow. So it just makes more sense to go aggressive in Feudal Age. That way you can take advantage of your eco bonuses sooner rather than later. With all that said, is this not better for Aztecs to have a fast castle war because it keeps Vikings further away from that bonus?
So you're saying that it's disadvantageous to go for fast castle because you don't get wheelbarrow, but you know that when you get to castle age, you get handcart.
Okay, all right, but
so I mean,
okay, that's true. That's true.
Are we
that's
just
true.
ignoring that fact?
No, we're just listen. It's very important to use whatever facts you have to back up your points as a caster. You don't necessarily have to present all the facts because all the facts might not back up your point, Viper. Come on, man.
Okay, gotcha.
But I mean, as I look at the positions right now, Yo had to make a barracks. Yo doesn't have the res to click up. Leary will have the res to click up, so it looks much better for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Yo did there with his economy, why it's so off. And also, I don't really like the way Yo is walling the left side. I feel like that could be more effective, but okay. But yeah, Yo's castle is going to be put off quite a bit here, and it's interesting that he goes for a stable. Leary just going for the market blacksmith, so Leary is very likely just going to play full eagles here. And Yo with stable, probably not the best response to eagle for a Viking player.
Yeah. That was the other thing I was thinking of, is just you're also giving the Vikings a hard pass to be able to get to that eagle war. But, you know, a point you brought up earlier, just because the maps are a bit more open doesn't mean you can just comfortably go fast feudal. There's lions you'll run into unintentionally. Yeah. Players are really far away from each other, so I think it does make sense to just kind of predetermine your strat when the game starts.
I think Yo has made a bit of a misplay with the use of his scout as well here. That scout should have been on the front of Leary's base the whole feudal age, just to find out what exactly Leary is making. And just now he's going to confirm that it's multiple eagles, and I think if Yo saw this earlier, he might have just gone barracks market and even played men-at-arms himself, potentially.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there's no second barracks yet for Leary, so this still seems like maybe just arena style, where you maybe make a couple of eagles, make a monastery, try to get some relics, and kind of take it from there. So maybe the stable is actually even a better play with that in mind.
Both players having some of their gold outside of their walls, the difference being that Yo has a 4-tile gold outside of his walls, and he's working with 3. and then Leary's working on 4 with 3 outside of his walls. So I'd say advantage Leary in both aspects, both eco, at least for now, as we see supplies for Yo, but also just that, the timing. Eagle massing does take a bit of time. You're going to want to get the monks out, get the upgrades. So the longer Leary can chill here, as you could say, he's going to be happy.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like big commitment though from Leary. He has a lot of villas on gold, I'll give you that, but there's a second TC, there's no sign of Eagle Warrior upgrade yet, although it could come very shortly, and I'm not sure if double barracks supplies man arms is really worth it right now to counter this. Maybe like 3 TC behind walls and then switch to barracks might have made more sense for Yo. But yeah, he's committing on the barracks, and who knows, maybe he even goes super aggressive in the Castle Age, or yeah, even dropping more farms. He only has 6 on wood right now.
Wow.
To me, that seems like someone that is not planning to add economy and rather wants to defend a big eagle play. And Yo is not reacting either. The eagles are through on the top side, but Leary for some reason does not go inside.
Oh,
Yo is just chilling there, mining gold as if he knew this was happening.
Like, okay, do you think it's fair to say that he got distracted because there were 2 areas where there was attacking on his walls?
I sure hope so. Elsie has the balls, so yeah.
You don't need to describe his parts. It's all right. But it's open for later if Leary wants to arrive. But man, like that stuff it frustrates me so much because I would never have that happen to me. Any 2K1, 2K2 is gonna send everything through there, and I'm gonna die, and then I'm gonna say this is why I cast. But no, okay, at the highest level, the Open Classic Finals, he just doesn't run in there. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So Yo has 3 men at arms so far. Longswords on the way. Leary with a couple of eagles though. Monks on the way. He's gonna start picking up relics. I feel like Leary is currently transitioning better, but the thing here is, depending on how many militia or men at arms or longswords rather that Yo commits to, he might have to just play an all-in aggression in the end here.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't add TCs soon, then yeah. You know what? There's a big chance Yo doesn't even realize he's open on the left side.
Yeah, I don't think he knows.
Destroyed it. Yeah, they destroyed it and left.
I would know that there was a hole there, but it would be too late and I'd be dead. Because they'd actually go in. And here comes Leary. And Yo maybe hoping to surprise Leary as he saves a villager, or oh, actually it's really close. He might lose a villager to a wolf on the right, Viper, or a lion, excuse me.
Oh, the scout not helping. Okay, he does survive. But yeah, this is Yo's plan now. He's going to go forward siege and he's going to go full out with the longsword aggression here.
Yeah.
And Leary has still making eagles, double barracks eagles, even an archery range being dropped now. So he wants to make a switch into some crossbows as well. But he still has 3 monks, and those monks are going to be crucial to what is happening right now.
Getting Sanctity now, so he'll have so much more HP. Hopefully he doesn't waste his conversion there. Oh, the scout comes in. This is before Sanctity, but that was a really fast conversion.
Yeah, he did move the conversion from the knight over to the scout, and obviously there's 3 monks there. Now, they all burn their juice, though, so in theory, this would be the perfect time for Yo to charge, but yeah, you don't feel safe enough to go in yet. And Leary scouts this and has kind of good track and control over what's happening right now. Villager count, 6 in favor of Leary, but Yo obviously does have handcart. Leary doesn't even have wheelbarrow yet, though, by the way, so that's a bit of an ugly one. But yeah, double range now for Leary, making that archer transition happen, and the thing though is Yo is making scorpions, he might mix in some Magnas as well, and this army from Yo could be really hard to stop very soon.
I think that, well, what Yo is doing is probably what you should aim to do against this civilization. Hasn't quite been at the time that he needs as he makes another barracks forward. Also, a side note, just in case Yo runs out of gold, and he is working his way through it, there's an eagle patrolling on that gold outside of his walls, so maybe in a crucial moment in 5 to 10 minutes, that eagle will snag a few villager kills. But it's going to be more about this big fight. If Leary can get a conversion with every monk, as Yo goes in with scouts here, I think that Leary's going to be in a really good spot to get a win.
Yeah, Leary does have a couple of crossbows now. Numbers are growing. 5 monks as well, even 3rd archery range. There's still no bodkin arrow though for Leary. That's probably something he should prioritize. And yeah, monks again. The monks have, how much HP do they have now? They have 50 HP already. So the nice thing for Yo having the stable is that he can make those scouts to try and snipe the monks.
Oh.
But what? Leary's sending villagers out.
He didn't know about the Siege Viper. He really wanted to go for a town center there, and the monks don't have redemption, so they won't die to one hit, and that is the power of God. Good conversions
That
there for
is-
Leary. Good defense.
Aye, aye,
Huge clear up.
Yeah, Yo's pressure is just shut down in an instant. The thing is, this pressure came at 24 minutes when they have been encapsulated for 7-8 minutes already. It just feels like it comes so late here that Leary had all the time in the world to respond. And
Yep.
now, Yo, when you see the guy who's going for something like this, adding town centers, that's when you know that he as well realized that this pressure
Yeah.
did not work as intended.
Yeah, and he's going to realize he's really far behind now, too, based on how he's played this. But you still play it out. You might get lucky, and maybe Leary will have a small misplay. Here come the villagers to the golds. So that will be nice for Leary if he spots that. And, you know, Aztecs just have no weaknesses, man. They have no weaknesses. Open maps, closed maps, it feels like they're always up there in the conversation. They can do everything. Excellent economy, excellent military, and really tough to find an answer unless you completely outplay them.
Yeah, indeed. Makes you question as well if... Yeah, I feel like Yo's reaction upon seeing the Eagles was instant supply, second barracks.
Yeah.
But the barracks were all at home. Yo had all the vision with the scout where the Eagles were. I didn't feel like he was under any threat
Yeah.
at that point in the game. So maybe just adding TCs and adapting more, which is kind of what is the strength of Vikings, because you have that super strong economy. Could have been a better option, but obviously in hindsight, everything is way easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Like, he had only seen one barracks as an opening for Leary, yet he played it as if Leary was going 3 or 4 barracks all in against him.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can understand why he would think that, because that's what Aztecs would normally do. Big moment in the middle. Oh, nice Maganel shot. Leary not paying attention to his archers for once.
Well, the issue though is that there are still 5 monks there. Light